Okay, so Aaron and I are at the West Marine in Portland, and what we're doing now is we're cutting our battery cables to length, and then we will crimp on the lugs after we get it cut to length. That's what Aaron is doing, and we have the good fortune of going to the West Marine, where they have these crimping cable workstations and workbenches and all the stuff that you need to get it done. Okay? So she's got the cable cutting tool at 12 inches, and we're going to make a 12-inch cable. Okay, so the cable's cut. Next thing she's going to do, she is going to trim each end piece to expose the wires inside the cable lug. And she's going to measure it up and trim it that length. So you want as much of the wire bundle as possible inside the lug before you crimp it. You should also cut it nice and squarely, or as flush as you possibly can, and avoid cutting it on an angle. The crimp is stronger when you have as much wire bundle inside the crimp as possible. Okay. So there, she's got one side done. She's measuring up the next side. No special tools required. She's just using a Leatherman knife blade. But she's being careful not to cut too aggressively, because you don't want to cut any of the wire strands. You just want to trim the cable sheathing. Alright, she's got the lugs on. Okay. And we're going to use this cool crimping tool over here. Alright, so you're going to figure out the right size. In our case, it's a 4/0 cable. We just put the 4/0 in there and start giving it. Okay, and what she's doing is just hammering the crimp in place. I'll give you a close-up of the crimping tool once we're done. You can kind of see how it works. Check your crimp, give it a pull. Okay, and she's going to repeat the same thing on the other side.
Should I make that longer?
Yeah, if you don't have maximum wire bundle. So what she's done here is that she noticed that she could go a little bit larger on the wire bundle that's sticking out of the sheathing. Okay, so she's going to trim it back probably another 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch or so. So she maximizes the amount of wire that's inside the lug. You also want to avoid any wire strands coming out around the lug. You want to make sure you get them all in there. So she's working it now to get it in place. Okay, there she has it. She's ready to crimp now. So let's look at the crimp. So what she's done is made this indentation in the lug, and that smashing effect is crimps down the cable lug onto the wire bundle. Okay, now to complete this process, what we're going to do is apply a shrink wrap. Okay. So the shrink wrap would go on, okay, and in another video we'll show you how to actually do the shrink wrap. But you just put it right over the lug, and then you're going to use heat to shrink this down right onto the lug, and it'll ultimately come out looking like this. Okay. Any exposed wire will be covered. It'll also give it a little extra strength, and it'll prevent corrosion over time. Alright, so that's it on how to crimp up your cables. You can go to we're on the West Coast, so West Marine is where we go. But I'm sure there's going to be a Marine center or even a battery center that probably has a workbench for you when you go ahead and get your kit all measured out and you're ready to cut your cables.